Hey there, everybody. My name is Garrett Waite, and I'm here with Kenn Fox of Paramount Guitars, and we're at Paramount Guitars. And we're going to be continuing a line we started about half a year ago, which is called Kenn's Guitars, exploring his collection, the various guitar builders that he works with. And today, we're going to be speaking about Northwood guitars. So we have quite a collection here. Can you hear me all the way over there, Kenn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about how you came across these guys to start with, and then we'll start talking about the different things that you like about them and whatnot.
Well, actually, I've had a long-standing relationship with John McQuarrie for, I don't even know, probably about 2 decades. And we started carrying his guitars when Paramount opened. And it's one of those things where I was getting them in and checking them out. And in the back of my head, I was kind of thinking, well, I need to play some of these and maybe, get one for myself. And this one is actually the very first one I got. It's a regular OM, long scale, Rosewood Adirondack. And at that time I was playing a lot of blues shows, and I needed something with a serious bark. And this thing filled the rooms that I was playing really well. The Adirondack top is really loud. So there was a noticeable difference, I think, when I started playing one of these things. The stuff I was playing before that sounded great, but it didn't have the bark. So this is the very first one I got. And then from there, I had them build me a deep body double O. And this is actually a guitar that's been on most of my albums. I actually recorded Malachi's Rainbow and some of that stuff with this. It's got a really deep body, really nice straight grain rosewood. And as you can see, the pickguard fell off years ago. But yeah, I used to play live shows with this a lot too. And this is one of those guitars that just keeps turning up on my records. So
yeah,
it's got a really nice bear claw top too. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really wide bear claw. So there's a lot of things I like about these, but I think the consistency, obviously they have a sort of a Martin-esque sound, but it's a little more modern, which I really like. And the necks just feel just really comfortable to me. They're fairly full, symmetrical C necks and have just enough chunk for my hand. And actually this one and that one have 1 13/16 nut widths, so it's a little bit wider.
And does that do anything to the sound or the playability at all?
Well, for me, it gives me a little more space.
Gotcha.
I've got big hands, so
Yeah.
it allows me to do some of the chord things I do, and I tend to play in a lot of tunings.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just easier. And John's one of those guys, he'll do anything. I mean, he's never said no, I don't think, to anything I ever asked him to do. So, he's a one-man shop. He does everything. He does the finishing, and he's very flexible as far as specs. I mean, this one may have stretched him more than any of the others.
Yeah.
This is the Clarence Waite Dreadnought that I had him build. And this one's got a wintergrain top with a oversized sound hole, which that was the one time I thought he was probably going to say no, but he didn't. And he actually ended up making one of these for Dave Carnes too.
Yeah.
So again, really straight grain rosewood. Goto 510s. thunderous sound. I love the wintergrain. It tends to be really stiff like Adirondack, and again, it's got that sort of mid-rangey bark. And then we actually used some of my spalted maple for the head plate.
Wow.
And the neck wedge, and way back on the tail wedge. These all have K&Ks in them for the most part, except for the first deep body 00, which I use Baggs M1 active in that. So
sweet. And yeah, when we sat down, obviously these are all like really gorgeous, refined looking guitars, but this one in particular really caught my eye.
This is the last one he built for me, and we used this for the Stream of Consciousness. A couple of or actually one of the videos in the church. And yeah, I always wanted a maple guitar, and I like the sound of maple, but every maple instrument I've ever tried had a spruce top. So I was like, John, how about if we try a cedar top? And it did everything I needed it to do. It warmed it up just enough, you know. Maple tends to have a really clear treble, and it can be a little bit brittle, but the cedar top really takes a lot of that out of it. So yeah, obviously you killed it. This is a deep body OM as well. Go to 510s, K&K, the best maple you'll ever see.
That's incredible.
And then he's now working on a mini jumbo version of this. Same woods.
Okay.
Same sister top, same maple back and sides, only a mini jumbo. So
very exciting.
Another thing I always wanted, you know.
Yeah.
I always would see Emmylou Harris and all those country guys playing those big J200s, and I always loved the sound. But again, it's a little bit brittle. So we're gonna do the mini jumbo with a cedar top also, and I think it's gonna be amazing.
Excellent. Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about it. Just kind of offhand, but what would you say are the kind of defining characteristics of a Northwood guitar? Because as you were saying before we sat down, like, you know, if you own a guitar, there's something very specific of why you own it, because there's lots of luthiers out there. So what is it about Northwood that?
Well, like I was saying, you know, they're kind of Martin-esque. And what I mean by that is I think they're built somewhat in the tradition of Martin, and design-wise, there are some similarities to vintage Martins, and you know, the key being vintage, not modern Martins, but like pre-war Martins. But there's also a little bit more of a modern tone, and I think that is to do a lot with the mid-range. The mid-range is a little bit beefed up, but really clear trebles, really controlled bass, big round bass notes. And for me, a lot of it's the feel. I mean, I just like the way these things feel. I love the necks. And John's versatility as far as being able to do whatever, you know, I'm obsessing about at that particular point in time. This is another deep body 00 that's sort of the sister to that one. And we sold this a bunch of times, and it came back one more time, and I just couldn't let it go. So it's basically the sister of that. I had like 3 of them built at the time, and look at the bear claw on that.
Yeah, that's incredible. Wow.
With a builder like this, I think you tend to get really high quality woods too. That's the other thing, is he has access to a lot of amazing woods that normal sort of factory type builders wouldn't have access to. He knows a lot of people, and he usually knows where to get whatever he needs to get, and it's always top notch. Most of the rosewood's really straight grained and really nice, and some of the best tops I've ever seen.
Excellent. All right, so this has been really cool looking at your collection, and as you've been saying, a lot of these have been custom jobs. So if somebody was interested in getting a Northwood guitar, but they had certain specs that they wanted, would they be able to do that through Paramount?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, to be fair, almost everything that Northwood does is custom. I mean, he does have set models, but like I said, he's very, very flexible as far as adding. Like if you do a 70s series without the abalone and stuff like that, he'll add, an abalone rosette or whatever you want.
Yeah.
So even like his stock models basically can be altered, and you can have, some specs from the 80 series mixed with specs from the 70 series and that sort of thing. So yeah, Paramount does do custom orders for Northwood, and we've also got a pretty steady flow of really nice, like higher end one-offs coming through every year.
Sweet. All right, yeah. So if you're interested in one of these guitars, not one of these guitars. If you're interested in a Northwood guitar, you have any in stock right now?
We do. I believe we have 3 or 4 in stock.
Okay.
And then we've got a bunch on order for this year.
Excellent. Yeah. So come down. You can come down to the actual place, the actual store, Paramount Guitars, and try these out, so you can see the feel and the quality that you can expect from a Northwood guitar. And thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time.